Our big goal today is to work through some review materials on projectile motion. I'm also going to introduce what we're going to call the Rube Goldberg project, which is something kind of long-term that we're hoping to work on. But you're going to do this on your own. So I'm going to kind of leave you to it to work through the tasks posted on Canvas. Just, start with one and work your way down. And while you're doing that, I'm going to create basically an individual break room that I'll invite each of you to throughout the period. And we'll just have a little one-on-one meeting so I can get you signed up for your courses for next year. So keep your audio on, stay by your computer. I should hopefully, I'm hoping we'll have met with all of you by the time there's 20 minutes left in the period. We'll take about 10 minutes to review, and then I can let you go 10 minutes early. But it depends on how quickly the meetings go as well. So as usual, on Canvas, there should be both an announcement and an assignment titled Science2H, Unit 4, Lesson 12, tasks to complete. Again, just start with number 1, which is what I'll be doing with you. So just move on to 2. The do now is another OK Go video about Rube Goldberg stuff, which is kind of fun. It's not graded. I know it's a Canvas quiz, but it's not graded. It's just practice quiz. There's another little video for inspiration, a little survey I want you to fill out to see if this project could be feasible. I have a short little lesson for you on chapter 5.7 through 5.8 to just watch, and feel free to take notes on that if you want. Then there's a PhET simulation that looks like this. You're going to be firing a cannon, and it's pretty fun. You can fire, you can fire a pumpkin, but there's also if you're more violent person, you can fire a piano. And it's just going to teach you a little bit about projectile motion. There's again a little sort of Canvas quiz, but again, it'll count as a homework assignment, classwork assignment to complete. And if you get all that done and we still haven't convened back together, there's a little sort of a Rube Goldberg game. It's kind of like a puzzle game where you're trying to move a ball into a little cup. You got to add on these little devices, but it's all sort of accurately designed for physics. So that's kind of a fun thing to play if you're still waiting for us to reconvene. Any questions on what you're doing? All instructions and links should be there on Canvas. So I will leave you to it. You can turn your camera off and your microphone off if you want. But again, just be on the lookout for a little breakout room invite from me. I'm going to go alphabetically. So, those of you in the lower end of the alphabet, you'll probably be later in the lesson. And I'll start with the, A's and B's and go from there. All right. Thanks, kids. Go for it. All right, everybody, let's all come back into the main room. I finally managed to meet with everybody. So if we could have cameras back on and unmute ourselves quick. I'll try to wrap this up quickly because I know you've all been working hard. So taking a quick look at the quiz that you had to complete. What did you all think of the OK Go video?
It was cool.
This is hopefully a project we're going to do, not something as ambitious as what they did. What were some of the cool parts of that video?
The destruction.
Yeah, I think the big stuff, like where they're moving a car, and yeah, one guy gets bungee corded back into a bunch of boxes. So I think that's kind of fun. So yeah, you guys are right. It was 2 days, over 40 takes. You can see they're kind of tired at the end. They're ready for it to be over. What was the final task? What did the machine do in the end?
Shoot paint.
Spray the paint. Paintball cannons. So, and this kind of dates it. So in 2010, with 8 million views, it was one of the most viewed videos, which is kind of funny. Anyone know like Despacito and what's that Psy song? Anyone know what view count those now have?
Billions.
Yeah, it's in like the tens of billions. So it's things are different now. And yes, it was perfectly timed to the song. That was kind of the challenge, I think, and why they had to do so many takes. So, all right, we are going to try to do a Rube Goldberg project like this at home. Again, this is as you are able. So some of you might be all set to go and build something cool. Some of you might just need to use a kitchen table with a few things that fall over. That's okay. It's, we don't feel like you have to go out and buy things. You don't have to do anything to put yourself at risk or spend money. Don't have to do that. So it looks like most of you have access to at least some trinkets and tools. That's a pretty good tool count, honestly. In terms of borrowing, yeah, it's okay. That's all right. Most of you wouldn't expect that anyway. But most of you do have a store nearby you that could help if need be. About half of you have the space or maybe have the space. And most of you have someone who can help out. So I think we're in good shape. I'm going to try to draft a sort of project description. The PhET simulation, was hopefully pretty straightforward. In terms of the vectors, the very last question in the quiz was the key takeaway, I think. The last question was, if I could, thought I could view these. Period here. The last question was about the vectors. So under the velocity vectors menu in the box to the right side, check the box for components, fire the cannon a few times at different angles and watch the arrows of the two appear. Does the horizontal vector change? So what'd you guys think? Yes or no? Did the horizontal vector change? Yes, good, it does not. Now, is that realistic though? Does anyone know what a cannonball is flying through, what will eventually slow it down?
Air.
Yeah, so there is always air resistance. This ignores that. So if there wasn't any air resistance, then yes, things would just keep on going horizontally with the exact same amount of force and acceleration. Does the vertical vector change? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes, it does. And does anyone know what it changes in response to? Why does the vertical change? What's pulling on it?
Gravity.
Yeah, so gravity slows it down to a stop if it's going upwards, and then pulls it back down with increasing speed of 10 meters per second per second. In reality, it's about 9.8. So that's kind of the key takeaway for the vectors, keeping it simple right now. Yeah.
I got a question. So when I tried like the drag, like I increased the drag to like its maximum, and I put like the horizontal vector like to show, like it like didn't change as well, but like I was like a little bit confused why that was.
It might just be that this animation doesn't have that factored in, or it could be that the vector they're showing is just the force, the initial force, and it's not showing the reduction. That, or it's possible that the air resistance is so small, even at its maximum, that it isn't having an effect. Though I feel like it should have. Was that under the same introduction one?
I didn't drag, but I also tried it in the intro as well.
Yeah, it might be worth trying it in the lab one on the far side there, because I think that's where they get really fancy. They've got all these different things you can change and see. But that's a good question. I mean, as far as I know, it should have slowed down the horizontal force, but maybe it isn't. Maybe they're just showing the initial force that was shown. So it's a good question. I don't know. Something I'll have to play around with as well. All right, we'll take time in our next class to review the homework. If you had questions on 15 from Hewitt, I don't want to spend time on that right now. Did anyone play the game at all? It's kind of fun. I'm like up to level 14, and it's kind of fun that they show you the solutions, and you can kind of come up with your own solution as well. So, all right, to end with, what am I going to hit you guys with the next time we meet right before we go on spring long weekend?
A quiz. A
little quiz. Okay, again, this is not a 100-point test. It'll be probably 25-point, maybe more, maybe 40-point quiz. It is open notes. I still encourage you to take like 1 page of summary notes to refer to, but I'm not going to try to enforce that that's all you look at. Everything's open. You know, this is completely open notes. Whatever you need to look at, you can look at. And there's a study guide and review slides available to use to prepare for it. And yeah, we'll have that in class probably for the last 40 minutes or so, and you can continue after class working out if you need to. I'll set a time limit, but it'll be with adequate time, I think. So any questions on that? All right, kids, thanks a lot for taking the time to work through things, and it was good meeting with you about course registration. If you don't have your registration confirmed yet with me, then you need to do that by tomorrow. But otherwise, that is it for me. Thank you very much. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep, I'll hang out here if you got questions.